So, Doctor, what do we need to do as a country to stop this galamsey issue?
There's a balance in that. One, those who are doing it have done it for a very long time.
Sure.
And so it will be difficult for you to just tell them to stop and it ends there. You give them alternatives. The first alternative is to form them into cooperatives and let them do what they've done for a very long time and have lived with it. But this time, well organized and planned, with the intention that we give them alternative agriculture, cocoa, and other food crops that would also have ready market. And once they have these things available, and these are also tied into agro-based industry that are cited within some of these areas that are, if you like, illegal mining prone areas, I think that you would have had the opportunity to shift the attention of the youth in that area to alternative sources of income, and that would be helpful and useful for the society.
So there will be no need for us to ban or put a ban on galamsey issues.
You can halt it gradually, but you can say I've stopped it, and it will just end, because this is just their lifeline.
Now the NPP government, they promise to provide the youth with jobs, and now looking at these instances talking about the galamsey issues, would it be right for them to stop them?
Yes, it's right when you want to stop what
should they put in measures to control
what we have seen to be illegality, but it is also not right when you want to take away the lifeline of a people, especially something they've survived on for a very long time. It's taking away lives. They've had accidents in these, what do you call it, holes and all that.
And you have about 3 million people surviving on galamsey.
Look, the numbers is just way up there. And what I'm saying is that you cannot just sit in a boardroom or just legislate. You will need public education, public engagement and discourse. You would also need to provide alternatives. And until these alternatives are available, I'm sure we'll be chasing the wind.
Okay, now let's turn attention to other issues in here. Now, talking about the late Captain Mahama, do you think this mob action or the lynching, and then talking about the laws which has been put before Parliament, and then people are bringing out issues, their own issues about this whole story? What's your take on this one?
It's a sad story. First of all, it doesn't put Ghana on a right pedestal. It projects us negatively as a country that is interested in mob justice or jungle justice. And mob justice is when individuals or group of violent individuals take the law into their own hands, take justice into their hands. If you look at it from the principle of just desserts, the Mosaic law, an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, because society is no longer a jungle society where animals prey, the survival of the fittest, where one prey on the other, but we have agreed that there should be a certain order and structure in society where there are the rulers and there are the ruled. And those who are ruled have allowed themselves to be ruled by the rulers under either a democratic arrangement or under a monarchy or any form of government that the society deems fit. And under such constitutional arrangement, there are laws that guide the actions of members in society. So until you take someone to a court of competent jurisdiction, for that person to be brought before a justice or a judge to be tried, the rule of all the art and pattern, to hear the other side also, that the individual you accuse would have the opportunity to also give response in defense of what you accuse him or her of, would then suffice, so that it is the state that will have the capacity either to avenge on the behalf of the persons or the individuals who believe that some harm has been done against them by the guilty party. Now here what mob justice does in our society is that if you are walking the street of Kegetia, for instance, and accidentally your hand enters into somebody's bag, I'm an university lecturer, but I'll be bent.
Sure.
And so, to what extent can my innocence be proven? That looking at the circumstantial evidence, my persona, my charisma, I wouldn't do that. So mob justice takes away that privilege for society to hear my side of the story, and that's what happened to this major. The second thing, which is also very dangerous, is that, you know, it takes a lot to train one human being. A fine major like this is wiped out, and I have a conversation on this subject before, and I liken it to two cutlasses. Two cutlasses are not the same. The one which is sharpened can cut faster than the one which is not sharpened, even though they are two cutlasses. That means that if the society is able to just wipe out a fine major with enough training, some experience in the army, and would have become very useful to our society and our world in general, then here we are. I think we need to go back to the drawing board and ask ourselves these questions. One, will justice be served even after his death? And that is something Ghanaians would want to see. That even though the major is dead, some jungle justice, some mob action has been taken against him to take away his fine life.
Sure.
Some justice must be served, and Ghanaians are waiting for that. Two, the surrounding circumstances that led to that, would that be dealt with so far as these issues are concerned? A DCE had raised an issue, and that issue has just been swept under the carpet. Is it necessary for us to look into the nitty-gritties of those issues and see that if there is any iota of truth in whatever he says? The third level is that it is essential for us to understand that any form of mob action or violence that goes on within our society that is not attended to legally and by law, and that if the police become apathetic, if institutions of state do not act on those actions, it has the proclivity or the tendency to create another level of pain for us in the foreseeable.